My name's Susan Adams. I am a first generation born Black British woman, and both of my parents come from the island of Carriacou. I'm the youngest of 6, and my experience growing up was very much one that would describe a person living in England with parents who had very strong Caribbean roots and values. So when it could have been around 10 maybe, and I can't quite remember how it came around. I think we'd seen some big drum danced in Carriacou, and then when we were in England, we saw, could have been George was dancing big drum, and my mum asked me if I wanted to dance big drum, so I said, yeah, why not? So I started dancing big drum. I could have been around 10 years old, I think, maybe a bit younger, and there were some incredible elders from Huddersfield, let's say, that were part of that. So from memory, obviously, George was a massive character within the big drum community. There were also older people. I remember cousin Cecilia. Actually, Herbert Augustine was one of the drummers as well. And he was part of big drum for a long, long time in Huddersfield before he passed. There were lots of elders within the community that almost passed down the experience and the knowledge, the songs, the dances of big drum to, at that time, quite a willing number of young people who wanted to learn, of which I was one. So I danced big drum for, it could have been maybe about 18 years, could have been. And during that time, I started off being quite young to ending up teaching younger ones to dance as well. We danced at all sorts of different venues for different people, different places, weddings, christenings, funerals I remember doing. We were booked by all sorts of different people, black, white, Asian, you name it. We danced in community centres, we danced in town halls, we danced inside, we danced outside on stage, amongst a crowd. We danced in lots of different places. It was a real privilege to share part of our cultural heritage with some people who knew a little bit about it and some people who knew nothing about it. But it was a privilege because all the time they were valuing what it was that we were sharing with them. For me, big drum is a very spiritual experience. And because it's a spiritual dance, as somebody who has that in my blood, because it is something that you have in your blood, big drum is a spiritual thing that's passed down through families and generations. It's something that I feel. So when I hear big drum, it instantly kind of creates a feeling in me. I know what the songs are automatically. I know what the dance is. I know what the drum beat is, because everything kind of comes together as a feeling within you. And that's kind of the best way I can describe it, because it is very much a spiritual feeling that you get when you hear big drum. Big drum was big in Huddersfield. People wanted to see big drum. We were quite a novelty because we had a group within Huddersfield, but we used to travel to various different places. But to my knowledge, there wasn't one in Huddersfield, in London, sorry. So Huddersfield had quite a good thing going on, because we were the ones that were kind of flying the flag, if you like, for big drum in big drum in the UK. Unfortunately, the young ones, we didn't carry it on for whatever reason. It wasn't something, it almost kind of dwindled away. And I think that's one of my probably biggest regrets, that you think that you're young all the time, you think that you're going to be young forever, and you take advantage of you being one of the young ones. And you do learn all of this stuff, but it's also your responsibility to pass it on. And I think that's probably where we've let our children and young people down. We learned something from our elders and didn't carry that through. The good thing is you see more and more big drum being danced in the native islands, so Carriacou. I've seen loads of footage of loads of various different things where there's, again, the intergenerational element of big drum is carrying on, and it's still very much alive, being danced not only as part of what it's meant to be part of, i.e. people, you know, sort of celebrating it within their yards, within their homes, but also performing it as well. So I'm glad that it's continuing on in the islands, and that's where it needs to continue, but it would be nice to see it here as well.